Hello there. I thought it would be a good idea to do a quick follow-up video to the video that I posted last week about the dizziness episode that I experienced. So since then, I guess this video is really mainly about, I'll talk about what I've done this week to try and get myself back on my feet, so to speak, and also what's happened with regards to doctors and moving forward, and my thoughts on why this might have happened. So firstly, I guess as well, thank you for all the comments on the previous video last week. It was a week ago today that I experienced that crazy, intense dizziness on waking. Non-rotational dizziness, which I think is important to this whole situation that I find myself in. So, since last Tuesday I told you, I can't remember when I uploaded the video, it wasn't on the Tuesday, but that's when it happened. But since then, just day by day, I've gradually felt myself finding my balance again, I guess you could say. Not feeling so out of it. The depersonalization sort of eased pretty quickly. I noticed for a couple of days that, like, when I was moving, if I was moving too quickly or something, I'd feel a bit off balance and stuff, but nothing like it was that Tuesday for, I don't know, about 8-9 hours, something like that. So I think it was like Friday I started to feel myself again. Over the weekend I had a customer visit and like dealt with that. Web design, obviously. And I managed to cope with that fine. My fiance, my beautiful fiance, had an appointment yesterday. I went with her to that. It was in a big building. It was like, I was absolutely fine. We was in there for an hour or so. Absolutely fine with that. Went to the shop a couple of times and stuff over the last couple of days. So things have definitely improved. Like, I'm not feeling any of that abnormal, let's say, dizziness, because dizziness has kind of become normal for me over the past few years, or, well, over the last decade. It's become kind of a normal thing, and I think, like, maybe because I've got way less stress in my life at the moment, because I'm happy, like, my family is ideal, like, we're just good. Everything seems good at the moment. Touch wood, it continues, but like, maybe that's contributed to me being able to progress with my own mental health issues and stuff, because I don't know, I'm not sure, and I'm questioning now as to whether, like, my anxiety started because of these dizziness issues. And I know, like, there's people like B, I know that he thinks that this is just anxiety. Like, I'll go for tests and shit, like, I'll talk about doctors and stuff in a minute, but people will no doubt think that this is just an anxiety issue and, like, that's why I experienced the dizziness. But I don't know, there's something nagging me at the back of my head. It's not female, nagging. Gee, I can't believe I said that. Idiot. So I think personally that I have had an issue with this dizziness for as long as my anxiety has been an issue for me. Because I've mentioned it so many times, but that very first panic attack, lying on the bathroom floor, and just, like, that feeling that I experienced that night is exactly the same as the feeling that I experienced last week. And however many times it's happened to me where I've had this, like, there's been just flashes of dizziness that have only lasted for a second or so, but it's, like, crazy. But then there's also been times where I felt like I did last week. And it seems to me that every time that that happens, that's when I become fearful of leaving the house. I become more sensitive and monitoring sensations and monitoring my own physical self. Like, anything that happens for the next week after I have that dizzy spell, I'm, like, conscious of it. Like, is my heart beating fast? Like, I don't know, is my nose bleeding if it's running? Just stupid things like that. They're not stupid, but, like, blood pressure monitors and oximeters. Is that what it's called? The oxygen meter thing. Do you know what I mean? But those old habits that I've managed to distinguish over the past few years, like, they start, not necessarily like I haven't took my blood pressure once since that dizziness thing, but it's there. Like, I think of it. Like, do I need to do that? I know that I don't. But it's like old habits die hard, isn't it? That's what it is. I have these dizzy moments, these episodes of dizziness, and it seems to bring everything flooding back. And I think maybe this time round, and perhaps the last couple of times that it's happened over the last few years, I think maybe I've just learned more about myself, and knowing that this happens, like, I can get over it. At the time that it happens, it's terrifying still. Which leads me to the doctors. So I managed to get an appointment. The doctors called me on Monday, but it was a nurse that called, and she went over my record and stuff, and she said the last time we actually seen you here was nearly 3 years ago, and it was for this exact same thing. And I was like, check my history. Because every time I go to the doctors, and have for however many years it's been, touch wood, it's only ever for this dizziness thing, because it's a recurring thing for me. So 3 years ago, I was referred to an ENT. I went to the appointment at a hospital, which was, it took a lot for me to do that, because at the time I was kind of scared to leave the house, didn't go to the shop, didn't do anything. Like, I was just homebound, pretty much, apart from going in the car. I went to the appointment. The ENT guy was actually stuck in traffic, so I was there for like an hour and a half, and then at the end of that hour and a half I was just like, sack this, I cannot wait any longer. I was building myself up, like, tension and freaking out, so I left. Nothing more was done. Like, I didn't have another major, I would say last week was a pretty major episode. I didn't have another one for this long, so it's been that long since I experienced that kind of level of dizziness, I would say. I've had a few, like, dizzy wobbles and stuff, but that's just, I class that as normal now. So I spoke to the nurse. She couldn't refer me to an ENT, but she said she'd get the doctor to call me today. So she did. The doctor called me this morning. We had a good chat. She, like, pretty much exactly the same as the nurse. I can see that your history says that this is the only time you come. Like, you don't seem to have any other ailments, thankfully. But she recommended, so she's referred me to an ENT, which is great. The waiting list is, there's a bit of a backlog because of COVID and stuff, but I expect that. But no problem, like, if it takes another 3 years to have this, whatever it is, you know, as long as the appointment's within that time, great. But the other thing that she also referred me for is blood tests, which I've got to book myself. I haven't done yet, but I have got to book myself some blood tests, which, like, it's always been an issue for me. Like, I hate the thought of going for blood tests just in case, like, they find something wrong. But it's better to know, isn't it? So basically, for the next week, I'm assuming at some point I'm going to go and have the first blood test I ever freaking well had. Which is, yeah, like, I'm shitting myself about it. But it'll be fine. Like, it will be good to know that it's just, like, whatever is happening to me, whatever recurrently, is that a word? Recurrently? I think I might have just made it up. But whatever is recurring for me in regards to this dizziness stuff, like, I would love to get to the bottom of it. Whether I find out that it is just anxiety, even though last week when it happened I wasn't anxious. I literally woke up and felt like that. There was no anxiety. I wasn't stressed before I went to bed. There was nothing. So I find that weird. Like, that, maybe, yes, it's a thing, but I haven't been anxious for ages. Like, you can see from the lack of videos that I've put on, because I only tend to post about anxiety when I'm feeling it. Like, the lack of videos suggests that I've been doing pretty well for the last few years, like holidays and vacations and experiences and going to the zoo and just stuff that I hadn't dreamt of doing previously to meeting my now fiance, I guess. She's had a massive impact on me. But with regards to this issue, I completely lost my train of thought, so I apologise. But yeah, I'm feeling better about it. Like, I'm feeling better. Blood tests, yes. ENT, yes. I'm not sure whether this is dizziness caused by anxiety, or whether it's like a vestibular migraine, or it's something to do with my sinuses, because a few times a year, every year, like, I have this blow up in my sinuses, and it's horrible. Like, I feel pressure in my face and my forehead and stuff. Maybe it's got something to do with that, I don't know. Hopefully the ENT can point me in the right direction or something. I don't know, maybe CT scan or stuff like that. I've never been prepared. I've never felt strong enough mentally to be able to go and do this stuff, but, like, I'm not getting any younger, and I've got a lot to live for, so I want to find out what's going on. If it comes back that they can't find anything, and there's no suggestion that this could be anything other than anxiety, and maybe I just woke up freaking out even though I wasn't, but I don't know. Then I just have to take that on the chin and move forward, which is pretty much what I've done anyway this week. I've just like, it happened. Yes, at the time I was anxious about it. I went on Google and started searching and found out that I had all these kind of catastrophic illnesses. But turns out that like a week has passed and I'm back here, and yeah, I mean, it could happen again. I could wake up and freak out, but I don't know. Like, it caught me off guard. I think that was the issue with this time, is that it caught me off guard because I've been doing so bloody well. And that's why, like, in the past, every time I've had this dizzy thing, I've always thought, okay, maybe I've been too stressed out, or maybe things have just gotten on top of me. I don't know, maybe it's just a reaction to stress, or like I'm anxious and that's why I've experienced it. But this time, like, that's why it's opened my eyes a bit, and it's like, wait, like I've been doing great. I've been away, I've been experiencing things, enjoying my life, and everything feels great, and I couldn't really ask for more. So that's what's made me question it this time. But we'll get to the bottom of it, and I'll keep you posted, man. Then again, as I say, thank you for all the comments. I know that certain people are struggling with dizziness. I know Eddie has reached out to me. Like, he's having a hard time with dizziness again. Like, we go through these phases. I guess I'll continue to forever. Even if I find out that I suffered from a vestibular migraine, like, what? What am I going to do about that? Nothing. It's going to happen again. I just need to be prepared and just ride it out pretty much like I have this time. So it's a good experience, I guess. Hence making this video, so next time it happens I can watch this back and say, look, slap yourself, get up, and just carry on and do, maybe not slap myself, but just carry on, do whatever you were doing. It'll pass, you'll be fine, and we'll all be fine, and dizziness isn't harmful unless it's harmful. I don't know. Just, yeah. You can tell I'm feeling more positive about it. But let's get to the bottom of it. Let's find out what's going on. Until then, I bid you farewell, and I will see you in the next one. Like, the videos are kind of coming thick and fast here, because I want to find out what the fuck's going on. And if I can help anybody else on the way, and like, maybe this encourages somebody else to reach out to a doctor or find out, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know, we shouldn't seek reassurance, but when you're starting to question whether it is anxiety or not, or maybe, I don't know, it's a fine line, isn't it? You've got to find a balance between, like, there's people probably thinking, oh, for Christ's sake, here we go again. He's got some other mysterious illness that he's never going to be, like, recovered. He's never ever going to be diagnosed. That was it. You know what I mean? It's just anxiety again. Well, maybe. And I'll hold my hands up and say, yeah, I was fooled once again by my old friend, anxiety. But, I don't know, got a feeling about this. Something's not right. Because I feel good until that happens. And I'm not sitting here now worried that it's going to happen again. It's weird. I gotta go out anyway. Peace. Thank you for watching, and I will keep you posted, like I say. If anybody's struggling, reach out. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. I don't know, I feel like I need to go and do something. Like, have a nice experience video. Not that anybody ever watches those, but thank you anyway. Peace out. Take it easy, man.